All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Marshauno, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I help Christian women that are married or in long-term relationships to stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift you to feeling heard, understood, and appreciated. Now, I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about how to stop seeking the approval of others and why that's even important to actually be doing, because you don't want to feel like you're putting your life out there just to get and seek the approval of what others have to say to you, what they're offering, what they're not offering, what they're saying, good, bad, happy, sad, about you, to you. So I wanted to come here and just give you some inspiration, but also just to let you know who I am, what I offer, and come here and just to give you some value, which why you should, or how to stop, and why you should stop seeking the approval of others is because, number one, you really don't even need it. And this includes your family, this includes your spouse, this includes your children as well. I know that that might seem harsh or it could come as a surprise to some people, but it really is the truth. You have to first seek your own approval before you can start seeking the approval of others out there. So the first thing on how to stop seeking the approval of others is really to truly be yourself. Be authentic. Put yourself out there. Show up as your true authentic self. Stop worrying about what others are actually saying, what they're doing, how they're showing up, how they're not showing up, etc. Do you, be authentic, and so you can stop seeking the approval of what others have to say, what they're doing, again, and what they're not doing, etc. So that's the first thing. Put your true authentic self out there. The second thing is to accept who you are currently. Not the person that you were years ago, not the person that you are becoming, but the person that you are today. This includes your body type. This includes the size clothing that you wear. This includes, your makeup, literally your makeup, or just your body makeup, right? But everything about you, you must accept who you are today. It usually goes into weight when we talk about the acceptance, but that could be accepting and loving just where you're at in life. Accepting and loving the fact that maybe you are in a relationship or are not in a relationship. You are married or don't have children, right? All of the things that we're aspiring to have. Or maybe that thing is a car. Maybe that thing is a house. Maybe that thing is good credit. But just loving and accepting who you are currently today will help you to stop seeking the approval of others. See, I remember when I had to learn this lesson myself. And it all came down to the fact that I just had to accept the skin that I am in. And so I know that I told the story before, but for those of you who are finding me for the very first time, maybe you've never heard the story. I used to suffer from very low self-esteem because of my chocolate skin. And I was teased a lot as a child. I was teased from as long as I can remember, actually, instead of me just going back, as long as I can remember, I remember being teased. I remember walking home with one of my brothers who actually has lighter skin than me, and just one of the kids there was like, excuse me, and I don't know, what made me turn around, probably because they just said excuse me, I don't know, but I turned around and basically they were making a joke, but I didn't know that I was going to be the butt end of the joke, and they basically said, excuse me, why are you so black? I mean, are you guys really brother and sister, because you're so black and he's so light? And it's just like, really? Like, at the time, I didn't understand that this is just my skin, right? This is my melanin. There's nothing I can do about it. I didn't understand that we all come in different, meaning black people. We all come in different colors, from really, really bright to really, really dark. And so just me not realizing or having the vocabulary to say what it is, right? It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. This is the skin that God gave me. Now I love my skin, but when I had to think about me accepting me, it took me a while to truly accept myself, to truly love myself, to truly just literally look at myself in the mirror and say, Marshauno, you are beautiful. You are sexy. You are intelligent. You are smart. You are wonderful. You are kind. right? Being able to really speak life into myself. It took me a while to actually be able to do that. But now that I'm able to do that, it's okay, right? But we have to stop seeking the approval of others, because we really never know what the other person or parties are actually going through. And what I found out later on in life is that most of the time, the person that is teasing you, that is trying to make you feel bad, actually feels bad about him or herself in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So instead of them looking inside themselves, or instead of them dealing with their own crap, they would rather put it off on you, or in this case, put it off on me, and then pick me apart, i.e., talk about how dark my skin was, or ugly, or black, or whatever derogatory term that you want to insert there. That's what they were talking about. But it really had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with him. It had everything to do with her, who was doing the teasing. But it took me a while to even realize that. So I had to learn how to accept who I am, the skin that I am, and stopped even thinking about accepting, or stop even thinking about seeking the approval of other people outside of myself. I had to learn how to truly love me, all of me. There's nothing that anybody else can do, say, or that I even want them to say or do either. Like, it just is what it is. Like, there's truly nothing that I can do about me and my dark skin, and there's nothing that I want to do about it, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is to seek solitude in order to discover the why. The why in this case is, why are you seeking the approval of other people in the first place? And most people don't realize that once you get down to what that why is going to show you the blueprint of all of the things that you have been doing wrong. Is going to show you all of the ways that you have been showing up and being different, again, to seek the approval of other people. So get quiet. Go into your prayer closet. Go and just sit in your car. Go for a walk out in nature. Keep the earbuds out. Keep your phone at home. Or just sit in your home. Literally sit quiet so you can be still, so you can hear the voice that you need to hear. In my case, it is God's voice. So you can actually hear God's voice, because when we're always moving around, and we're always moving around in life, always moving around, we're always busy. It's in those still moments that you actually get to hear what God is trying to say to you, the information that he's trying to plug into you. You'll never be able to hear it. You'll never be able to receive it if you're always moving all around. So you have to learn to be still, be quiet. And in this case, you want to discover the why. Why are you seeking people's approval? And in some cases, we're seeking people's approval even more than our own. I have a client who she told me not too long ago where she can't even go outside or go to the mailbox or go to the grocery store without having to have on a full face of makeup. There's something wrong with that. It's something psychologically wrong with that. And that is, and it does come from seeking the approval of other people in some form. Maybe she has a lot of acne or scars that she's trying to hide, right? So she's not showing up and being her true, authentic self. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with makeup, so do not get that twisted. I am not. However, if you always have to do these things and you're using these things as a crutch, then there is something that you need to really sit down and deal with. Now, that is what I'm saying, because I have on a little bit of makeup myself, but I don't wear foundation like at all. I have a little bit of eye makeup, some little brow, and some little lips. That's what I have on. But I'm not knocking you if you like full face. Some people like full face. I'm just not one of them. But I'm not knocking you, right? What I am saying is, if you have to have these things in order to feel beautiful, in order to feel accepted, in order to feel loved, then there is something that is deeply rooted within you that you need to take care of. So you need to figure out your why. Why are you seeking the approval of others? Usually it is something that has been implanted in us that we are now taking on as the critical inner voice that usually did not stem from us. So in my case, my critical inner voice at some point in time was the people that were teasing me about my dark skin, which led to me having low self-esteem, because after you hear something over and over and over again, you start to believe it. So in the beginning, I had no idea that I had really dark skin. I was just like, this is my skin. I'm a child moving around, right? And then as I started to get older, when boys started to pay attention to me, that's when I started to hear, oh, you got really dark skin. Oh, you got really dark skin. And then I noticed myself was starting to compare my skin to other people. And then I remember one time literally going to my mom and asking her, Mom, can I bleach my skin? Like, that's how deeply rooted those negative voices were to me. And it took me to grow up, leave my parents' home, and be out and about living life in order to work on loving my dark skin. So it took me 20 plus years to get that internalized negative voice within me. And it didn't take me 20 years to lose it, but it definitely took me several years, maybe 5 to 7 years, to actually get that out of me and start to accept all of me, no matter if other people accept me or not, because that is their issue if they don't accept me. It's not my issue. And I do not, and I make it a habit, I make it a practice not to take on other people's stuff. That's not my junk. That's your junk. That's the way you feel. And I'm okay with the way that you feel, but you can keep it over there, because I really don't care, honestly. I don't. So seek solitude in order to hear the voice, in order to answer the questions why. Number 4, keep the promises that you make to yourself. This is how you're actually going to stop seeking the approval of others. You have to be able to keep your own promises to yourself. Yes, you want to keep the promises that you make to other people, including your spouse, including your children, including your family members, co-workers, friends, all of that stuff. Yes, you do. But you first want to be able to keep the promises that you make to yourself. Because if you cannot keep the promises that you make to yourself, how do you expect yourself to keep the promises that you're making to other people? It's impossible to do. It's impossible to keep up. And even if you're living a lie and doing that great on the outside, at some point it's going to catch up with you. And the people that are in your inner circle are going to see you breaking down, because, again, which was point number 1, you are not showing up as your true, authentic self. You are living a lie, basically. And there's no sense in living a lie, sis. There's no sense in living a lie, bruh. Show up and be who you are. And guess what? The people that see you, that truly see you, that like you, that love you, will still be there for you. So keep the promises that you make to yourself, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're not loving on yourself, if you're not keeping the promises that you make to yourself, at some point you are going to drop the ball and stop keeping the promises to people around you in your circle and those that you love as well. Point number 5, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Point number 5, in order to stop seeking the approval of others, you must defeat your fears and your insecurities. Now, here's the thing. Each and every one of us have some fears and insecurities. Each and every one of us have some fears and insecurities. And they are multiplied whenever somebody points them out. And the only reason why you feel that thing when they're pointing it out to you is because you actually believe it yourself. And so this is why people see your weakness, and then they're able to say that thing over and over and over to you again, and also notice that you are feeling and reacting a certain type of way. So whenever you're feeling the fear, step into it. Yeah, let me say that again, because whenever you're feeling that fear, that thing that is holding you back, that thing that is just literally within you, and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So it might be fear of public speaking. Side note, tidbit of information. People fear public speaking even more than they fear death. This is not everybody, but the numbers have shown that public speaking is the number 1 fear. Death comes in at second. So if you are scared of public speaking, that's when you need to step into it and go publicly speak. And publicly speaking could be something like I'm doing right now. Some people are very, very fearful of even turning on the camera. You see, it's just you and me right now. It's just you and me. I'm just speaking to you and me. But some people are super fearful of this because of the, oh my God, how many people are going to see me? How many people are going to see me? Am I going to look stupid? Do I look ugly? Look at my nose. Oh my God, look at my skin. Like, you have all of these insecurities that are now starting to pop up because you're in front of people. Are you going to mess up? Are you going to slip and fall? What if you don't remember your lines? Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that comes along with that. So with that being said, you know, there's a lot of fears and a lot of insecurities, but the only way, or I should say at least one of the top ways to stop seeking the approval of others is this: deal with your fears, deal with your insecurities. In your romantic relationship, you are scared to have those very tough conversations because you never know how your partner is going to react, and the things that they're going to say is going to lead to an argument. You still need to have that tough conversation, because here's the thing: when you keep sweeping things under the rug, you are setting yourself up as well as your relationship up for failure. Because the mountain is going to start small, and at some point it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and then you're going to keep tripping over this big old bump that's in your relationship. You're going to keep tripping over it. So don't trip over it. Have those tough conversations. Break all that stuff down. Walk into your fears. Walk into your insecurities, and I'm telling you, you will feel so much better. Anytime I do this myself, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much lighter. Like, you have to release this stuff and get it out, because if you don't, guess what? You're building up resentment. And anytime resentment comes into play, here comes this anger and frustration. And all this stuff coupled together is not keeping you in a healthy relationship. And this is all relationships, actually. Y'all know that I talk about romantic relationships here for the most part, but this is all relationships. Just imagine and think about this. And I'm sure this has not only happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to you out there as well, which is, you had a friend, you had a misunderstanding, you were holding on to this thing that you didn't even know that you did, and once they brought it to your attention, you apologized and you guys were good again, but you wondered what that tension was. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but you knew it was something there, and you didn't really know how to address it because you didn't really know what was actually happening. And so once you actually did hear, like, oh, that's what's been happening to you. Like, prime example that actually happened to me before. Had a girlfriend. She was holding on to something for, I think it was like 2 years. And I noticed that she was pulling back, but we were still talking. So she also suffered from undiagnosed depression, okay? Undiagnosed. However, she would always pull away and kind of go into her shell, and it's just like, okay, well, hey girl, I'm just checking on you. But really what was happening is that she was actually discussing with one of her guy friends, and this is how it actually came to me. So one of her guy friends, she was discussing with her guy friend how she was upset with me, and her guy friend was like, well, hold up. Maybe Marshauno has no idea that you are feeling this type of way. Why don't you just have a conversation with her? So when she finally came to me, I literally was like, what are you talking about? Like, she was holding on to something for 2 years that I had no idea that she was holding on to. So this is where I'm talking about those tough conversations. Tough conversations, because you don't know which way this thing is going to go. But you're holding on to this thing, and the other person more than likely has no idea what you're holding on to or why you acting funny. Because she was acting funny, but again, I just thought it was her depression. Her depression's like, okay, girl, checking in on you, talk to you when I talk to you, whatever. And then I'm moving on, and then we would actually speak. So it wasn't the whole 2 years where we were not speaking. It was just, I did notice there was some pullback. So, but I just equated it to something else, and I didn't think anything of it and moved on. But once we had that conversation, like, everything like was like easy. And it went back to us talking all the time and hanging out and all this other stuff. And it was just like, I ain't had no idea that you was mad. Like, wait a minute, you was mad about that? Like, literally, that's, I remember saying that. Like, you was mad about that? Like, I mean, I'm apologize because you was feeling some type of way, and it's always been years, but that wasn't even nothing. In my eyes, that wasn't even nothing. So, with that being said, let me come back on topic, on subject. You have to be able to walk into and step into your fears and insecurities, because that is going to be the only way you're going to get any type of resolve. Any type of resolve is to step into your fears and insecurities. Now, if you made it this far, I want to give you a bonus, which is to always give it your all, no matter what. Give it your all. You're walking into one of your fears and insecurities, give it your all, right? You notice you need to stop seeking the approval of others by literally having to always not accepting who you are currently, like literally. And you listen, you got to accept yourself. Give it your all in accepting yourself. Give it your all when you're speaking life to yourself in the mirror every day. until you actually start to believe the things that you are saying to yourself about yourself. And this is the self-talk, so you can get rid of that inner critical voice. It'll actually go away while you reseeding and reprogramming your own self. Keep the promises that you make to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You must. You must. All of these things coupled together will help you to stop seeking the approval of other people. I love you guys. There's nothing that you can do about it. Now, if you actually need some help, I have a link up above. I'm putting it out there for the first 5 people who need some clarity in life or in love, especially with the holidays coming around. I just want to help 5 people. And as soon as I have those 5 people, I will be taking the link down. So if you know that you do not need this, just don't sign up, right? But if you are a person that really needs some help and you're really ready to go to the next level, to actually hear some things that I'm going to point out to you and then be able to do the work behind what it is, then reach out, sign up for that 30-minute call. I want to help 5 of you out there. I love you guys. There's nothing that you can do about it, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.